It's okay, it's alright. I got something you gon' like. We gon' set your day on fire. Get your morning started right. It's okay, it's alright. I got something you gon' like. We gon' set your day on fire. Get your morning started right.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's your girl, Senny J, on this Wednesday, August 3rd. It is 10 minutes after the hour of 7. If you are just tuning in with us, Shawn is not here today. That's how we like it over here. So I am here today, and I am with our wonderful co-host who's stepping in today. Her name is B-Love. You all know and adore her, so we can't wait to get into what she has going on. I want to make sure that you guys are following us on all social media platforms. We are on Facebook Live, Shawn Harvey Morning Show featuring the Wake Up Team. We are on Instagram at Shawn Harvey Morning Show. We are on TikTok at SH Morning Show. So definitely make sure you go over there and follow us. Shout out to Comedy World Net out there in Vegas broadcasting us and all of our affiliates. We truly, truly, truly appreciate it. Everyone coming into our chat room on Facebook, please like and share the show. We really appreciate it. Everybody listening on YouTube, make sure you keep this show going and share it. We need as many people watching it as possible. So we appreciate all of you guys that share it every day. And good morning, B-Love. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. I'm so happy and humble to be here. Thank you for having me in studio today.
Yes, we're excited you are here. And if you guys are just joining us this morning, we have a great show. I definitely have Senny Says, where I'm going to let you know what is going on in Hollywood and entertainment news. We are also going to have From Page News with Senny J, where I will keep you up to date on what's going on locally, nationally, and globally. And we're also going to have a morning buzz that is going to make your head spin before 9 a.m. So as Shawn would say, get your beverage ready, your coffee, your tea, your little vodka and orange juice if you're anything like me, and get this Wednesday hump day started. So we're all about that here. And I think the first thing that we're going to do is I'm just going to shout out to B-Love and say, how are you doing? How'd you get here? What's going on?
It kind of feels like everything is happening right now. I'm on this road trip from Georgia back up north.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Okay. There we go.
Yes.
Better?
Yes.
Awesome. So, I'm on this road trip. I'm kind of on this mission. That's what LGL is about, my platform. It's on this mission, and I guess in this mission of healing not just myself, other people, also trying to figure out where the heck to sit down.
Right.
Which has been pretty interesting. But I just drove here from D.C. I was in D.C. for a couple of days. I had a meeting there and met with a friend. Hey, Beatrice, the yoga queen. And just, kind of catching up and figuring things out. And when Shawn called, I was like, awesome. I always love to come in and hang out with you guys. We always have such good topics to talk about. And, drove here 3.5 hours. And I'm like, there's so much that I sent you a few things.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that we could possibly talk about today.
Yeah.
A lot of them had to do with, what was going on in relationships between men and women.
Okay.
Right?
I love talking about that.
Yes, I know you do. I know you do. And so, when you think about it today, relationships between men and women, I'm just really curious, like, what is the definition of a woman?
Okay.
I know what that is for me, personally. But when we so appear to be concerned with what society is saying, it's like, so what is the definition of woman to you, Sen?
What is the definition of a woman? Hold on with me one second. Sorry about that, guys. Really quick, the definition of a woman to me, I don't know, and no shade on the LGBTQIA community because I have had this question. I've heard it so much, especially dealing with that sometimes to me, I'm like, I don't think that's where you're going with it, but to me, I've asked myself this. I'm like, what really does make a woman? I think everybody thinks about it in a biological sense as far as, look, we can have babies and we menstruate and all that other stuff. But I think, it's, I enjoy being a woman. I like the femininity of it, but that also is, if we're getting too deep, that is a construct that society put on women too. Sometimes I feel like, what would quote unquote women really be like if we weren't put into these roles, into these gender roles? You know what I mean? If we think about, I guess, if we can think about people that don't live within this society, what is it? Like indigenous peoples,
Right.
They don't really live within the constructs of mainstream society, Western culture, Eastern culture, whatever. But I think at the heart of it, I think to put it into words that we know, I think women are nurturers at heart because we can give life. So I find that to be one of our biggest qualities is just to be, that's why I think women are like, we're just all encompassing because we can give life. So I think we can kind of do it all. We kind of like, if you're birthing something, that means that you have the, equipment, you have the knowledge to, make it do what it do, like, build something up. So I don't know. I just feel like women at heart, we're supposed to be soft. We're supposed to be nurturers, but we have the ability to be, strong if we need to. And I don't know. I feel like men definitely too can have that capability, but I don't know if it comes as naturally as it does. So I guess if I would say what, being a woman is more nurturing, I don't know. I guess you would say feminine if we had to use these words that they're giving us to describe it.
And I think that's why I want to have the conversation, right? Because the fact that we can't even have the conversation comfortably is a conversation. I understand from the perspective of, how a person feels, what they would desire, and what they put that label to be, that desire to be. That doesn't make it so.
Okay.
A man cannot be a woman, period. I understand that you may feel that way.
Right.
But you can't be. Until you push a child out of your body, you will never understand, to your point, the femininity that a woman owns. And so you can't take that from us. The reason I'm bringing this all up today is because I have a new show that I'm doing every Monday through Friday with Kamal Speaks. Shout out to my co-host, Kamal Speaks One, where we basically talk about these things. And what he wanted to talk about today, his question to me is, are women driving men to be gay? Now, that may seem silly, but when you put into context that we can blame that we can blame us for all the things that go wrong. It's like, so are you kidding me? So now so let me just give a little context for me.
Okay.
For me, as a woman, I know the things that I have to struggle with, and I'm not taking anything away from a black man because I love them, or any other man who's doing his damn thing. I'm not taking anything away from someone who feels that they are a man, even if they're in a woman's body, and vice versa. all of that rocks.
Right.
But this body right here, this one has pushed out 3 kids.
3.
Okay, and at the end of the day, that's not something that a man can do. Not even if they made it so medically today, because they can do all types of things right now.
Right.
It will never make it so. And when you say that you have a femininity that can't be, just taken, I understand that part. On the other hand, when it comes to how people feel about their sexuality, I don't understand why I can't feel that way.
Right.
Why can't I feel like you can't be me? Because you can't.
Okay. I can understand that.
But yeah, we're made to feel, because we opened the conversation with, we can't use certain words and we can't do. Why? They can.
Right.
So why can't we? Why isn't it equal balance? So the reason I started out with what is the definition of a woman is because we're many things. We're
Right.
soft, we're hard, we're in between. You know what I'm saying? We're emotional, we're problem solvers. We have to be. There are things that come with the job of being a mother, as well as fathers know, and responsibility that we have to take on.
Right.
Here's the other side of that. I've sent you a post about a guy. I'm sure you guys may have seen it on Instagram. There's a post of this guy who kicked the girl out of the car. I guess he flew her in to wherever he was to have sex, and she wouldn't give him any. So he kicked her out of the car and basically was like, make your way home.
Yeah.
So as a woman,
I think I have it. I'll try and play it, but go ahead.
okay, as a woman, this is why it's important to me to not have to put myself in a position where I'm being flown out by somebody and I'm staying somewhere. Oh, and I need a ticket back. And if I don't give you sex, you're kicking me to the curb. I don't want to be in that position, right? So I work really hard to not be in that position. And that's held against me.
Right.
I've had to make certain sacrifices as a mother in order to be able to make sure everybody was always okay, and still are. But that's held against me. I'm strong. I'm independent. I make decisions, my own decisions. And yeah, sometimes I want help, but I have to do it on my own. So doing it on your own develops this thick skin.
Right.
That's held against me. So in a situation like that with this clip, that can't be me. That won't be me.
I know so many women have been saying that and talking that about this clip. I'm going to try and get it. I don't know. I mean, definitely, I don't know if it was a skit, all these things now. We don't know if it's true, but it is a situation that definitely it comes up a lot, especially with a lot of women having this mentality now that they're going to, everybody's trying to get the most that they can out of men for the least, for giving out the least. Right. So I feel like it's almost trending for women to engage in this type of behavior when it has been happening. This is a ages-old conversation for women to not be putting themselves in these situations where this can happen to them. And I remember even growing up, my mom would be like, if a boy gave me like something or any little thing, she was like, no, don't take that, give it back. And, certain things, if that's not your boyfriend, if that's not, if you guys are not together, you shouldn't. Right.
Yeah, you knew there was an expectation. They knew there was an expectation, right?
Right.
But this has been going on. Let's backtrack. This has been going on, which takes me into the next thing that I sent to you, which was the Alicia Keys Swiss Beats situation.
Right.
Before we get to that, when it comes down to it, women and men have been exchanging money since the beginning of time.
Right.
Men today say that marriage is really just a contract, a business agreement, which I don't agree with. To a degree it is. Absolutely, to a degree it is. Because if people say money doesn't matter, that's bullshit. Bull crap. Sorry. Sorry.
It's okay.
But, at the end of the day, that is a component to it. But there's other things. Again, when you go back to the what's the definition of a woman? As a woman, I want to have my family. I want to have my partner, my man, my husband.
Right.
All that.
Right.
Right? That soft side of me desires all of those things. But because the other side is the way that it is, and I know it's about finding a balance, and I believe I have that. Then it comes down to, are you just gonna deal with be how she is? But finding that balance, I can't have that because of this. So women and men have been exchanging money for sex forever. So the fact that women are doing it now and doing it at a scale, why not? You've been giving it away for free. You might as well get something if that's the business you're in.
Right.
If you're not in that business, it's not our business to judge them. Now, the backlash of that is that men are taking it out on us, the ones who are about their business. But that's their ish.
The men that are upset about how she was acting on the thing,
on
the trip.
The men who believe that, men like that are have control issues.
Right.
Right? They need to control the whole situation. Women who allow that have allowed themselves for sale. Now, clearly, she didn't know the terms of the agreement. Because when she got there, she's like, I'm not giving it up.
Right.
If that was the expectation, and based on how he's behaving, more than likely the discussion had been had. And she knew what it was. So whatever, she's entitled to change her mind.
Right.
But have your own plane money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think that was her biggest downfall, is not having the, if you're going to do that, just like, sometimes when people go out on dates, they feel like, I'm just going to have my money to pay for whatever I'm going to eat, because I don't know how this is going to go. And I don't need, a man paying for me or feeling like I owe him something after. And I think that that's also causing problems in the dating pool, because I feel like if there are any gender roles to be had, I feel like it should be during dating.
Right.
As far as, you take me out, you do certain things, you open the door, you court somebody. I do believe that a man should take that role and lead with it.
Right.
And when women are now fearful because we have to worry about, is he going to expect something after this? Now I'm having to pay my own meal. I'm having to, which it's set up this way to give you an idea of what this person is. If a man, if you want them to be the provider, it's almost like a small scale. You want to use this dating as the catalyst for that. You want to see what he's working with, if he's going to provide for you guys, how his pocket's looking, if you guys are at Applebee's or if you're at Ruth's Chris. Like, it's different.
Right.
And I feel that a lot of people don't want to, that gets taken away because all of this, we want to be equal, or men feeling like, oh, well, you got it, so why don't we go Dutch and all this other stuff. So I think that goes, definitely back to your point of, it's redefining what our roles are or what we do.
Right.
In these situations. Right.
How we're responding, how they're responding. What I'm learning is that you kind of have to meet people where they are and kind of figure out if this is kind of the direction you want to go in. And what I mean by that is that, if someone tells you that their issue is money and you're not a money person, then you need to figure out if that's somebody you want to move forward with. If somebody tells you that their issue is intimacy, they need to have threesomes, or, you know what I'm saying? They want to be in a swingers club, and that's not your thing. You have to evaluate if you want to be there.
Yeah.
You have to be comfortable enough in yourself to say, I'm good with this.
Right.
Because the roles are so obscure now, right? We as women, we put up with stuff that we shouldn't because, well, it's okay.
Right.
And it's
because we're giving everybody grace.
We're giving everybody grace. And, we're not giving ourselves the grace.
Right.
To be able to just be comfortable in who we are and just be like, I'm going to rock this, and fill the gaps with what you're missing as opposed to settling.
Okay.
So when it comes to the sex thing, right, I was saying that moving into industry stuff, Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats just celebrated 12 years together. She's expecting a new baby, which is beautiful. And I sent it to Senny. I'm like, do you think he's cheating on her?
Oh my gosh, that's what you were talking about, the thing, right?
It's an industry. Like, to me, it's a mindset. If a man is going to cheat, he's going to cheat. For these men, it's just part of the privilege of their life.
Right.
You know, so like the nice cars, the nice house, the nice side chicks.
Right.
They have them. So, you know, but when you think about that, is it okay? Because on the surface, Alicia's getting everything she wants.
Right. It does. I mean, I don't know, but I do believe that men with power and privilege, they're always going to have the option. And I think that if it's available, they will.
Right.
I think it comes with a certain type of man. There's a certain type of discipline and emotional intelligence to not be impulsive like that. Because, you know, whether it's truth or a lie, majority of men say, oh, you know, it didn't mean anything, or you know, I was frustrated, or I was this, or you just did
or
it
you didn't give me something.
Right.
That's the favorite.
Right.
You weren't putting out, or we weren't in a good space.
Right. But at the end of the day, it's just, you know, an impulsive decision, and you know, you're not run by sex. But I feel as though a lot of men find their identity in sex.
Yes.
And so, of course, if they don't feel like they're the man, then they're going to go where they feel like that. And so definitely always a possibility. And sometimes that's why I don't, you know, I always say I want my man with a little bit of a dab of ugly, a little bit of broke. Because I just feel like they have to have a little something that brings them down to the regular level, to like my level. Because when they're, you know, and of course every woman is searching after the same man, tall, dark, handsome, has a lot of money, a little bit of thug. So we all want that, but I do believe that that's, you know, something in our heads that we have, even though some women do have that. But the desires that I think that some women have in getting certain men, I just think that it needs to be evaluated a little bit. But I do think that men that have that power and privilege and money, that they want, that they don't, I just don't think that you'll ever really know. I mean, I do feel like from the outside, their relationship is very wholesome, especially how they say, you know, they have the whole blended family thing, especially with, I believe it Mashonda is her name, you know, even after all of that they went through.
Yes.
And, you know, they came out on the other side. But again, you know, that takes a lot of work. And it's just now being good, like for these last few years. But I think that that's hard. And I think that in the back of your mind, that's always kind of playing for you. And that's why you need to have, you know, you just need to know what you would put up with. Because some women, they don't care. They're just like, listen, as long as he's coming home to me every night and I'm getting that check, whatever, do whatever you want. And then there are some women who are like, I cannot stand for that because I need to be the focus of your emotional attention.
Well, let's take this now to the next lovely set couple, Neo.
Oh yeah, and Crystal.
And Crystal.
And what they're going through, yes.
Which is unfortunate because, you know, again, as the feminine side of us makes us that soft woman who wants to love, who wants to trust, despite the fact that I know that you've cheated on me numerous times.
Right.
I'm going to put that to the side for our family, for our love, for my heart. They go have this extravagant wedding. She just, with this humongous ring, which was beautiful, by the way, Neo.
She said it was beautiful, by the way.
It was a beautiful ring.
Yes.
Too big for me, but I'm just saying beautiful.
He was doing that just to overcompensate.
And now for her to come out, you know, saying how it was been 8 years of lies and she can't do it anymore.
Right.
You know, and you see this and you're like, to your point, the struggle with the feminine, what defines a woman, how we struggle with femininity, because here now we gave it up. She gave it up. You know, I think just like the girl before her, Manetta Shaw.
Yeah.
She actually tied her tubes for Neo.
I know. We were talking about that the other day. So sad.
You know what I'm saying? I think she got it reversed or something, but she tied her tubes for this guy. And I'm just saying that's the woman in us, the femininity. So now moving forward, do you think that she might be making those same decisions?
Right.
Do you think she'll look at things differently and be a little harder when it comes to the next guy?
Right.
So it puts us in a tough situation when we're defining what women are today, and the things, and we're going through scenario of the things that we deal with as women,
Right.
and why there's such a struggle between the feminine and the masculine for us.
Yeah, there definitely is a struggle. I want you guys to definitely let us know. But I think it can be, oh, I think it's, I
Okay.
think the fact that women can switch between both is really a testament as well to, how strong women are. I hate to use that word strong, but
Right.
it's the way that we're able to it's the way that we're able to maneuver and protect ourselves from certain things. And again, I don't think that men have that ability to be as diverse with their, I don't know, is your feminine like your emotion or like your demeanor? I don't think they have that ability as we do. But I also don't think it's that's why sometimes I hate these terms, because I don't think that's quote unquote masculine to assert yourself and not put up with crap. I don't think that's being masculine. I think that's just being a
hurt.
person. Yeah. And
being
just
hurt and reacting to the things that they've been through. And hold on, this is not about project. Like when we started the show. Good morning, everyone who just joined. Hi, comedian Fig. We're not. This isn't a bashing session of men. In fact, I was hoping that you would kind of look at it as like understanding why we as women kind of come across a certain way in our actions.
right.
When you go through these things, you now it's not just men. I absolutely agree. Chick who got kicked out of the car. Come on. I'm not saying it's okay for you not to change your mind, but again, what were the terms of the agreement? And
Right.
if that's not being laid out at this point, what do you want?
Right.
You know what I mean? What are we doing?
Right.
And if I know that, then I don't have the right. But if we've made an agreement and everybody's not fulfilling their part, this is where the struggles as a woman, this is where we get the different reactions. So that's what I was trying to really, when talking about, what's the definition of a woman.
Right. So definitely let us know in the comments. Is anybody saying anything interesting in the comments, or are men getting offended? I feel like because, and especially in the age that we're in, I think that it's hard sometimes for females to express the certain things that they go through, because there is some lack of accountability on the count of men.
Right.
I feel like a lot of the times when women do voice their concerns and how they feel, men say, well, you're just picking wrong, you're just you're not
vetting them correctly.
Right. It's a problem with you.
Right.
But when men voice to women about how they've been through all this child support, or they had a woman who was cheating on them, or when they have women that see them as a piece of meat and they don't see them as, a person with feelings, nobody ever says to them, well, why are you picking wrong?
Right.
You're not vetting correctly.
Right.
You're just going for the same type of woman.
Right.
Nobody ever says that to men, and they never get that response. They have other men championing them, talking about, these females just don't understand how they are. But where is your accountability in the women that you're going for?
Right.
Especially in a lot of the times when certain men are, they say they're not into this and they're into that, but then they date the same thing that they say that they're not into.
Well, because they haven't healed they haven't unpacked their bags of trauma.
Right.
I was talking about this on the show last week. Trauma baggage. And you carry it from place to place. And one of them that I was talking about was control. Talking about little girl loss. One of the definitions, and there's about 12 of them, of what actually makes a little girl lost, right? But one of them is control. We think we have control, or we make bad decisions because I have control. If you're putting yourself in a situation where you're not happy and your whole thing is because I can take it or leave it, but you're still taking it, unpack that bag, sis.
Right.
And I say the same to men. If it's a money bag, unpack the money bag. Get to the root of why you have issues with money. Whether you're not good with it, or you have, you're so hung up on a woman having it. Fix that.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if you're supposed to be getting together, it's a team effort.
Yeah.
And so we shouldn't be, money's going to come. If you're on your game and I'm on my game, money's going to come.
Right.
Period. If you're not, you're not. And guess what? I'm not unpacking that bag for you. You can go ahead and unpack that bag with somebody else.
Right. I'll bag it.
Right. Because for me, and then when it comes to control, us allowing these bad behaviors that we're talking about between men and women, because we're all doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Unpack the trauma bag that makes you allow this continuous behavior and pattern of bad decisions.
Yeah, I feel a lot of people don't want to do that, and a lot of people they want to move to the next relationship thinking that it'll be better.
Right.
And that's why, and sometimes I hate it because people are like, oh, I hate the term, you need to love yourself, you need to be with yourself, because I don't think a lot of people know what that means, because you can just be single and not doing any introspective kind of work, and nobody really knows what it is unless you kind of can take any constructive criticism or really look back at your past relationships and being like, what did I do that could have caused the downfall of this, or what was, because usually when people are arguing, there's usually a recurring theme with it.
Exactly.
Whether they feel like you don't listen enough to them. Like, I remember I did so much introspection. My longest relationship with my children's father. And I remember he used to say to me, you never listen to me. You'll listen to everybody else before you listen to me. Okay. And I was like, what are you talking about? Of course I'm listening to you. But when I sat back and thought about it, these are the situations that he was talking about. Like, I would talk to him about something. Okay. And then he would say, like, I don't know, if we were talking about, let's say, a car, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, I like this car. I think we should get it. And he would be like, oh, yeah, but, I don't know, because that car, it would have bad this, and, maybe we should get it a little bigger because of the kids, blah, blah, blah. And I would be like, okay, But then I would go talk about it with my mom. Mm-hmm. And my mom would give me her opinion, and I would go back and be like, we should, I was just talking with my mom, and, she did say that this car, blah, 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 and, kind of going over the thing. A different
point of view.
And he would be like, I said that. I said that same thing. He's like, but you seem more excited because your mom is with it. And at the time, I was like, whatever. But now that I sat back and think about it, I was like, dang, that really probably hurt his ego, his feeling as my partner, because if we're supposed to be in this together, he feels like I don't trust him, or that his opinion matters, because at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to what your mom says. And so when I talked about it with my mom, this is later reflection. We haven't been together for a minute. My mom was like, and I was talking to her about these revelations that I've come to since being single. Right. And she was like, no. She was like, I mean, just in the future, just don't tell him that you spoke to me. Right. Right. I was like, really, Mom? That's what you're going to say? Is that in the future, just don't tell them that I spoke with you? And she's like, really? Yeah. I mean, she's like, and then she said, that's your problem. You talk too much. She was like, you say too much. She was like, some people just can't handle certain information. Yes. And I was like, Mom, the toxicity. Oh, my God. I was like, I don't think that's the answer, Mom. I was like, of course, yes, I'm still going to talk with you. Of course, you're my mom. I don't think this is an attack on our relationship. Right. And it's not about you, Mom. How about that? Let's unpack that bag. It's not about you, Mom. I'm not going to start keeping things from you. Right. I was like, but I need to listen, and I need to, if I'm going to be with this man and I trust him to lead this relationship like I want my man to do. And if I don't know the answer, because I know a lot of women are like, I ain't gonna let a man lead me into destruction, but it's not. If we both don't know, we're gonna try it out. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna do it together as a team. So now I take a different approach, and I definitely want to listen more. I let men speak. I want to hear your side and why you feel that way. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of work that you need to do. Yep. It's saying to yourself, I am wrong. Yep. This was a mistake, or I'm sorry. Apologizing, just, the basic forms of communication and understanding how what you say, how the other person, because communication is a two-way street, right? Yep. You have to not only do you have to put out the information, but the person has to receive it. And I think a lot of the time we have that blocker, right? Because
it's the suitcase. It's,
Right.
It's the baggage. I'm pulling up my baggage blocker to say no. And I don't want
Right.
to listen because I haven't unpacked the bag.
right.
And that's, to your point, until we do that, you're going to continue to be in the cycle that we were just discussing.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm proud of myself and, putting the work in, and even hearing you speak, is that I can recognize the baggage when I see it, even the little bags.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not perfect.
Right.
I even have my own, things that I'm still unpacking.
Right.
But I'm upfront about those things.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, when I see you with your bags, again, I have to decide how big are these bags? Because
Right.
everybody has them. Please do not believe that you're getting anyone perfect.
Right.
But what I want is some consistency.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to meet this guy on Monday and then next month he's some other guy. lay your crap out.
Right.
And if I want to roll those bags, come on. If it's a cart, and vice versa for men, by the way.
Yeah.
I understand that there are some men who, again, have money baggage. And so that's where those are the ones, to me, who come with the, what do you bring to the table?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say me, even though me is awesome to have at the table.
Right.
Right? But it's not just about that.
Right.
But that's their thing. So when somebody hits me with that, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And understanding, meeting people where they are.
Mm-hmm.
With the work that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes down to it, if we're not doing that, and we're sitting here again talking about gender roles, people who care about each other don't care about those things. If I have money and I meet you and you got some stuff going on, but it's not where I am, I'm not going to not date you.
Right.
I need to know where your mindset is. Oh, so together, are we going to make some stuff happen? Are we going to build as a team and create something? Because I already got mine. You have yours, right? What are we pulling together? And that doesn't mean you have to be here or I have to be. It shouldn't mean that.
Right.
It should be about all the other things that make a human being.
Right.
We've made it about bank accounts, cars, houses, and we have all of that. Look at the Neo's wives. Not just how many celebrities.
Right.
It doesn't bring happiness.
Right.
So, start unpacking the bags, please. I'm telling everybody, and I'm saying that because I'm on my growth as well. But as I see it, to your point, I have to move different and behave different. When I do something, I do it because I want to, not because there's an expectation of something back. And if there's a blessing, which there will be many behind it, that's all I need. That's the growth. Understanding and trusting that as long as I'm healing myself, I'm touching people and changing people. That's the whole point.
Right.
The whole point is to have these talks that are uncomfortable so we can unpack this crap.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to meet another guy with the Samsonite, the whole 6-piece set with the little, the little, they got the little bags now for the side. Listen.
Carrying your messenger bag of BS.
You know what I'm saying?
With you.
That's the charger cords. That's the little bag so they can just keep rebooting it. I don't want to meet you anymore. And when I meet you, I'm going to definitely try to help you. But I'm hoping that you guys are helping yourselves. You know what I'm saying? As we're having these types of talks.
Yes, absolutely. Y'all, we need to be healing ourselves. Definitely let us know in the comments or call in. We're using my number today. So you can call into 718-715-3178 to let us know what kind of introspective work you've been doing. Everything we've been talking about today. Are women, what is a woman? What is going on? What are they putting in the chat room, B?
So, Fig, hey, comedian Fig said
Fig.
Men and women communicate differently. That's true.
Yes.
But we speak the same language.
Right.
So we just gotta figure out how we can speak the same language. I mean, if they have, what was I listening to? What's the translator app? Duolingo, is it?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Uh-huh.
We could Duolingo Spanish, Italian, and all these other languages. Let's Duolingo us.
I know men and women do communicate differently. So it's just going to take a little bit more of listening and hearing what the other person is saying or what they want, and look at people's actions. I feel like a lot of times, a lot of women, we go off of what people say because we have a desire of them to be what they're saying instead of watching what they're actually doing and how they move and how they've moved before us, and using that as an indicator.
Right. So. Because there's also the understanding, you know, when we talk about certain women who do certain things, there are certain men who look for those certain women. Mm-hmm. They look for them. They want them. Right. Because they have their stuff that works within that. Right. Another comment Fig said, John Greer said, "You're right. Men use logic and women use complaining." Just kidding.
Oh, John.
And then Fig says, just taking the math, is it possible for every woman to have one man? I have my view on that, Senny. But
is it possible for every woman
to have just one man?
Okay, so this is coming from a place of feeling like women need multiple men, or that women are cheaters. That's what that is sort of implying to me. I think that a lot of women desire to be monogamous.
I agree.
So I don't know. I think that's the consensus. If you've been running into women who don't feel that way, I don't know. All the women that I know that I've met in my circle or that I talk to, they desire to have one man. Are there women that want to be out there and, you know, men are the spice of life and they want to have as many flavors as they can? Absolutely.
Right. But but that goes to, you know, other things, you know what I'm saying, that we're talking about. And, you know, women operate off of feelings. Lakeisha said men are visual, women are emotional. Please, let's talk about this topic right here. Because I've seen, I don't know, I may have sent that to you too, Senny.
I think women, we're visual too.
We're visual. You just said you want a drop of big, a drop of boozy, a drop of little weight in your man. I'm like, you want a drop of a little bit of everything.
Right.
You know, we are visual, but I think that we're also can be intimidated by the beauty of a man just because as women, we don't want the competition.
Right.
So, you know, to that point, I will say I agree with you. I think women really do want to be monogamous. I think women who don't, and I probably may get shot, but I think women who don't are women who are trying to find something to fill a void. You know, to find the thing, whether it's love or, you know, sex, feelings, whatever, sextimacy,
right?
Which is, you know, something that a lot of people chase.
Right.
That, you know, they're filling a void. When it comes to no. I'm asking if it is possible for a woman to have her own man.
I don't know what that means.
Me either.
Who's saying that?
Fig, call in.
Yeah, call in, Fig. What do you mean a woman to have her own man?
Vanetta, your team polyamory, I believe you were trying to say? Okay. I've had this conversation too. And what I respect about polyamorous relationships is they're honest.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. People run around behind, well, we love each other. So you're not honest because you love me?
Right.
Tell me the truth. If you want to be with somebody else and that's the nature of our relationship, let's rock. What we find is that we're in one-on-one in relationships until my man cheats or until my woman cheats. Then we're not really a monogamous relationship. Wouldn't you feel more comfortable knowing that I'm with John on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I'm with Joe on Thursday, and then the weekend is yours? You don't have to guess where I'm at. You don't have to guess what I'm doing. And that's the whole thing about polyamory. Not my thing personally. But that's why I've talked about brother husbands, where I'm like, you men make it hard for a woman to want to stay in a monogamous relationship when you guys don't act right.
My only thing with polyamory is I feel like it's not a westernized thing. Okay. It's not something that we are, you know, it's not something that any of us were really raised on.
Right.
So now that people are, you know, getting this from other cultures and they're trying to, you know, integrate it into our culture, I just think is a little sus because you didn't grow up with that. You don't know why they did it. You know, you don't really know the history behind it or how it works. And you're just trying to, for me, how I've seen it is you're just trying to fulfill your desire to have multiple people and just put a title on it because, you know, other cultures have did it. I don't feel like people in America really understand polyamory and what it comes from and what really goes into a polyamorous relationship. I think a lot of people just want to have 2 boyfriends or 2 girlfriends and just, you know, that's just what it is.
Right.
And that's why I'm, you know, if you grew up in that kind of culture or whatever, or that's what your father is, because it's not necessary. It's because if we all knew about it, it would be legal here. Well, it's not. You can't be married to multiple people. You can't truly, you know what I'm saying? So what does it really mean to you? That's where I get it with polyamory.
Well, let me ask you a question. You said, I'm just, you know, looking at 2 sides of the coin right now.
Mm-hmm.
You said that's not the culture that we were in, but Mary knew about Shirley. And every Saturday when Grandpa would disappear for the whole day.
But is that polyamory?
It's unknown polyamory because they know about each other. It really kind of is. It's unspoken polyamory. Because polyamorous relationships, and I've done research on it because I've done a show on it a couple of times, are relationships where 2 people decide they know that they are not going to be completely monogamous.
Right.
Men and women, because again, we always pin it down to men, but it's both. They understand and know that they're not going to be monogamous. So what do? They come together and they're like, all right, what does this show look like for us? And they're very clear on what they want, and there are guidelines, and they know that it can change at any time, and they have to sit down and have the discussion on how it's changing, why, and if they want to move forward. Everything is like out in the open. It's like having dinner. Then, honey, what do you want for dinner today? Mashed potatoes, salmon, you know, spinach.
Right.
And that's what it is, and it's respectful. Now, are people perfect in it? Absolutely not. We're humans. We mess everything up.
Right.
But, you know, the fact that that's how they're going into it as a contract and an agreement, when they talk about marriages being in a contract and an agreement, this is no different. They don't get married. Or, I mean, they can have one couple that's married legally. The other people are on board. And they tell each other if they go out and they meet somebody, which we have all done. You go out, you sit down, you meet somebody attractive, you have a conversation with them, maybe even a drink, whatever it is. It's all in fun for a moment, and then it could turn into something else because we're visual. Right. And we want to be stimulated. So once our mind is stimulated, our eyes already have feasted. Now we want to get to other things. Our husbands won't come home and tell us that. They won't say, I just had the best dinner or conversation with this beautiful woman. He's not going to say anything.
Right.
And neither is she. Why? Because we know when we come home, if we have that honest conversation with the people we love, and I say that because if you love me, you should be able to come tell me that. I just had dinner. If nothing happened, why can't you be like, I just saw the most attractive woman. We just had a drink. She works for such and such, because you're talking, right? She does this, she does that. And I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Whatever the next, wherever the conversation goes with that, but it shouldn't be confrontation. It should be angry. Right. And that's what's lacking in relationships, where as opposed to polyamory, it's laid out. I have an issue with that. Why? You know what I'm saying? And it's honest. So when people judge things from the outside looking in, we have to look at all of it, because the relationships that we're talking about are so, male-female relationships, or even relationships. There's a lot that is being missed because of the word love.
Yeah, there definitely is. I feel like people gloss over a lot of stuff and I think that it's important to realize that you can have intimate experiences with people, not meaning sex, but just like talking, feeling a close connection with someone, with it not necessarily having to be a relationship. Right. And I think that it's a lot, people need to understand those feelings too, and work through that. Right. Because that's where I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, well, we use all these buzzwords like, it's my soulmate. Right. They're, we have the same feelings, and they're into the same things that I am. And okay, that's what's called being in common. Right. And you need that, especially also being vulnerable with people, in order to have any type of relationship, a platonic
Yep.
one or a sexual one or
Yep.
whatever, you're gonna need those things, and being vulnerable and communicating and all that other stuff is going to create a certain bond with somebody.
Right.
But does that mean that you guys need to then take it to the next level or be together? You don't have to have especially if you're single, sometimes you just need to take it for what it is,
Right.
and be like, that's that person.
Right.
You know, you don't necessarily need to add them to your relationship, or you don't need to cheat on the person that you're with to experience that from them.
Right.
You just need to have, you know, understandings. And I feel like a lot of women, they feel like, oh, well, you know, they see a red flag or see something that should be like, you know what, you're not in alignment with me, we're not gonna continue on with this. But they're like, but you know, our sex is so great, or he, you know, he calls me every morning, so that must mean something. No,
Right.
maybe he's bored and he just
Right.
wants to say good morning, you know, because he likes talking to you.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that he wants to be with you. So I think that we need to be a little bit more discerning on the things that
Yes.
we feel make a relationship. Just because you're single and alone, like, just, you know, until somebody really puts forth that effort. And I don't think
Right.
a lot of people really know what that true effort into you as a person or be invested in your life really looks like.
Well, I think, again, then it goes back to unpacking those bags so that you know what it looks like, because you continue to go back to the same things. And again, we're sitting as a single woman sitting across men. I'm like, I don't want to keep. Now, let's be clear. What I am starting to appreciate about men is knowing who to step to with that ish and who not to. Y'all
Right.
doing a real good job of that. Because the nonsense approach has diminished. You know what I'm saying? That also speaks to the fact that they understand that I'm not having it. So
Yeah.
when you talk about, you know, those things, and you know, all of this goes back to what's the definition of a woman?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the fact that so many things that we have to go through in order to still stay soft and feminine and caring and loving and, you know what I'm saying, supportive, and all of the things that men want from us.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to be that sometimes when you have to be this all the time, or you're going through these things. The work is so worth it to be back to that,
Yeah.
because it's so nice to just be a woman. And no, I don't need to deal with this BS. I know if I want to get laid, I can go get laid. No strings attached, none of the nonsense. You know what I'm saying? I know if I want to go have a nice meal or just hang out, I can. And not just with myself, but I have great friends around me.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you know what it feels like to be treated well, in that movie Waiting to Exhale, where Whitney Houston said it, when you know what it's like to be treated well, you're not putting up with the BS.
Yeah.
And ladies, get yourself to the place where you're treated well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about how much money, whether he's taking you to Roof Chris or Applebee's. Let him be the man. Let him lead. And if he's not doing those things, and those are the things that you need to be a woman, that's not the guy for you. If you're okay with being the planner and doing all the work and him just being the one that goes along, go find that dude. Find the people that work for you, as opposed to trying to make something fit that just doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. Everybody needs to do that. So many people want to make something fit that doesn't work. It's not in alignment with them. You're not going to change them. It's just how they are. And that's what I'm learning to appreciate that
Right.
in other people, because, and that's something that I say too. I'm the type, I'm not like a, what is it? A guy's girl. I know a lot of women who are like, oh, I have a million guy friends. Like, I hate girls, blah, blah, blah. That's not me.
Right.
I love women. I love girls. Like,
Right.
girl time, hanging out with my friends. I don't have a lot of male friends because I do that. I like cling on. I'm like, if I see a guy and he's like super nice and we're vibing, I'm like, oh my God, I love him. And so, and then I'm like, you know, but I'm starting to appreciate having connection with men and
Right.
just leaving it there.
Right.
That's something that I'm working on.
Right.
Because it's so easy for it to go someplace else,
Right.
especially, you know, when you're both attractive and,
Right.
you know, hanging out. But I'm appreciating leaving it there.
Right.
And, you know, and it almost kind of forces them when guys, what I've seen, because even though he's your friend, he'll still try to, test you.
Right.
Maybe he's put his hand on your hip a little bit, or say sexual innuendos that are kind of like funny. But when you just leave it where it is, it really causes them, it puts really the ball in their court to be like, damn. And, she's not giving, I know the type of person she is. And unless I'm going to come correct with her, I need to just stop.
Right.
And they usually do. It just becomes like a friendship or, whatever. But I feel like if I would have ever opened that door for it to go further or sleep with them, then they would treat me like that.
Right. Something
And
to
that's
do.
Right.
They
And
would treat you like something, all under the guise of friendship.
right.
Right.
And I don't want that. I'm not
Right.
trying to get into a situation with with you because that's my boy and da-da-da. Nah.
Right.
No, we're not doing that. Like, I want to be in a relationship. If you can't come with that because you want to be whatever, then we're just going to remain friends. Like, I'm never going to give you the okay that, because you have to come with that. You have to step to me like a man that wants to be in a relationship. I'm not doing this friendship into situationship and then, 6 months down the line, you're like, nah, but you're my friend.
Right.
No.
Right.
Like,
And there's no,
just stop that.
well, even to that point, right?
You want to drink with your friend till they get drunk and then you guys sleep together and then you're having a conversation in the morning. Nah, bro, we're not doing that. Drop me off home. I'm taking an Uber. Like, I'm not going nowhere with you because you already know what it is.
Right.
And
right.
it's so easy.
So let's talk about that, because Fig just put something in here talking about connections cheating. And you're saying you could just be with a friend. So if you're out with a friend, you know what I'm saying, they're hanging out, they're doing their thing. That to me is an emotional connection. So let's talk about that from the other side, because you say you have both male and female friends.
Right.
As like for me, and I love that you brought it up. I think at a certain point, to your point, everyone, men and women, get to a point where they know they don't have to be with just any and everybody.
Right.
Right. It just becomes different. For some people, it doesn't. It's like chasing a high, and that's fine. But when it comes to, even with the dating thing, or how long we allow this to go on, situationships, you know what I'm saying? It's because, again, we're not defining it up front. We can't have the conversation up front, because if we come up front, it's too soon. It's too early to say all of these things. But in that conversation, you have male friends, I have male friends, you have female friends, I have female friends. How comfortable are we with this? If you're brunching with them every Saturday, you know what I'm saying? How much balance am I supposed to give? How soon into it? And I think that all gets kind of plays out. So when you say have the conversation, it's like, when do you have the conversation?
Have the conversation about what?
About being like, having friends, emotional connections, because that's what they are.
I mean, I hate this because I actually went through this.
So yay.
Some guy, well, you guys all know, I had like a little 3-month thing that I was doing. Was it last year? 2 years ago?
Okay.
You guys was Mikael 2 years ago? I forget. Time is running in, okay? And he did not like me talking to my friend Marlon.
Okay.
Marlon, me and him are strictly platonic, never did anything, never even kissed, nothing. Okay. He's just my bestie.
Okay.
But he just didn't like it. And he was like adamant about it, because he was like, who is this dude? I'm not going to have my woman talking to no dude for hours or whatever. I think the longest we were on the phone was like maybe an hour. Like, we were just talking about stuff.
Right.
So I kind of stopped talking to Marlon, right? But no, I didn't stop talking to him. I was just like texting him. Like, I wasn't like verbally
having conversations. You kept it quiet, like Mom said. You don't got to tell everything. You kept it on text.
I kept it quiet. But, it was very stressful.
Right.
I didn't like it. And I was one of those people that said I would never do that.
Yeah.
But I was trying, because it was still early in our relationship, and I was trying to create. You were trying to create trust,
because there was none.
Right.
Because if he felt that way, it's because he didn't trust you.
Right.
Right. And that's
some type of way.
And is it him? Is it because something you did, or is it his insecurity?
Right. Oh, please. It was definitely all him. Narcissist. But
right.
I feel like emotional because yes, I do have, an emotional connection to Marlon. Like, he knows a lot about me.
Right.
But I feel like when you cross that line is I feel like when you vent to
The
people,
friends.
your
Mhm.
friends of the opposite sex,
Mhm.
when it's really a conversation that you should be having with your partner, even with females. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Certain things you just tell your friends, I'm stressed, we're going through something, but whatever will come out on the other side.
Right.
It's a little thing. I feel like it's just when I feel like it's emotional cheating when, okay, and if something great happens to you and the first person you want to call is that other person and not your person that you're in a relationship with, I think that's the problem.
Right.
When you are extremely sad or don't know what to do and you want to go to that other person instead of the person you're with, I think that's a problem. I think that that is when emotional cheating is a problem.
Right.
When you yourself find comfort in that other person, because it shouldn't be that way. And why is it like that?
Those are the questions that we should be asking, but we don't. We just roll, oh, you have this relationship, and a lot of people roll it the same way they kind of like roll cheating, where it's like, oh, okay, because you don't trust the situation. Some people are just like, okay, well, this is what it is. Usually they're doing their own thing. Not everyone. But you're not emotionally attached. And because you're not emotionally attached to your partner, you have these attachments to other people. It goes back to, when are we one-on-one intimate, with our intimacy, with everything? I'm not saying you shouldn't have friends. There are some really close relationships, like, my kids' dads are my friends.
Yeah.
Now, am I on the phone with them every day? Absolutely not.
Right.
But when we talk, we talk.
Right.
And I know that they have my back and I have theirs. They're part of this equation. You know how
Right.
they say we're a package deal? We're a package deal. There's certain things that are non-negotiable. But when you're talking about, this chick that I've known for 10 years, 9 times out of 10, you guys have had sex.
Right.
That's why your man didn't want you hanging out with homeboy, because in his mind, he figured you guys already had sex somewhere. And
Right.
now you're just holding on to this connection, and he
Right.
didn't want you to.
Right.
So, when they're holding on to those things, it's for what?
Right.
Like, somebody was just telling me that the other day. It's like, I go to this certain event every year, and I'm just like, for my birthday, I'm like, every year? Like, you don't do anything else for your birthday? No, just this event. And I'm like, okay, that's just interesting to me.
Okay, good. Hold on.
So, is that John?
Yeah, we have a caller. 1 second. Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
How y'all doing?
Hey,
Good.
John, how are you?
Yeah, I want to get in on the conversation. Okay, about me and my ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
We're very good friends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so no sex involved. All we do is go out. We have laughter, and it's better than when we used to be together.
Right.
But she messed with some dude, and he's not understanding the fact that me and her are just friends.
Right.
And it's not like she told him that we're boyfriend and girl. They boyfriend and girlfriend. No, they were having sex. So he's thinking that since they had sex, they're boyfriend and girlfriends.
Right.
And she's telling him, no, you're not my man. And I don't see why you have a problem with me and my ex going out just having fun. No sex involved at all.
Right.
We just having fun because, she comes, I have a radio show. She comes to my radio show and, we laughter and we talk about things. And she's having more fun with me than she is with him because all he think about is, oh, you with your ex.
But that's a whole issue right there, because
so men and women can be friends
Yes.
without even sex involved.
Okay.
It's just that you got knuckleheads like him that, thinking that, oh, she's my girl because I had sex with her.
Right.
Yes.
And men think way different from women when it comes to friends.
Right.
Women want friends and they want to have laughter. They want to go out and just drink together. They're not even thinking about sex on their mind.
Right.
Men, and I'm a man. Men, all they do is, okay, we're friends. So let's go have a drink. Oh, which one do now? Let's go home and fuck. Excuse my language.
Right. Some do.
Just
some,
yeah, I'm serious. It's
some
different. And when you grow up and, coming from, like 20-something years old, you're thinking differently.
Right.
But as you get older, you learn to appreciate friendship with a woman.
It's a mindset, and I think that's what we're saying.
It's a mindset, exactly.
When
you
it
know,
comes
but you
to
got some
men-
knuckleheads who in their 50s thinking that, oh, just because we had sex, we're boyfriend and girlfriends.
Well,
You know?
let me tell you something. They're thinking a whole lot of things, just so you know. They're out here doing the damn thing with anybody that they can. It's unbelievable to me how people are still, you know, on this level where we
but good
just wanna
show.
meet
It's
and
good seeing you,
smash.
Senny J, again. Tell Steve Harvey, Shawn Harvey. I said Steve Harvey.
We love it when y'all call him Steve.
No, tell Shawn Harvey that I say what's up and everything. I got my own radio show. So,
Okay, yes.
So, you know, I'm doing good and everything on H5 Radio. You know, Gizmac and the AC show. It's comedy.
Okay.
But, like I said, men is hard-headed sometimes when it comes to, like, just having friendship. They're just thinking with their head on the bottom, not with their top.
Right. Amir says
Alright,
he
so
can't see us. Thank
Alright,
you,
and,
John.
you know, I'm gonna start watching the show again because I work hard. I work hard at night. Sometimes I be tired. So
We appreciate you being
it's good
here.
seeing you, Senny J, again, and the new what's her name?
I'm
Oh,
co-hosting today.
She's co-hosting today.
Be Love.
Oh, she's co-hosting today. Okay.
Yes.
Good show. I like the topic, and it makes sense. And I just wish men come to, you know, to the senses of, you know, friends is just, you know, going out and having fun.
Right.
Not just friends to try to hook up and go to bed with it and all that stuff.
Well, there's those two, but yes.
Yeah,
Thank you,
so,
John.
all right, so
Have a good
thank
one.
you for answering my call, and I will be calling again next time.
Appreciate it.
Okay, no problem. Thanks, John. Bye. I like
Yeah.
that is true. That it's a lot of ego involved, and you know what, I do, you know, respect that because I respect it, but I need to find somebody that gets it,
Right.
you know.
Me too.
And
Me too.
maybe because I do have male friends that I do care about. I still talk to my children's father, of course. You
Right.
know, we have a good relationship.
Right.
So I think that, you know, there are some men, you know, that get it. And
You just gotta
it's
wait
hard.
your turn.
Yeah.
And keep doing the work, because I think that's like minds attract like minds.
Yeah, because there's also some women, you know, I do know a lot of women, they do, and I do think that that's a lot of projection too. You know,
Yes.
maybe their man has cheated before in the past,
Yes.
and now, you know, they start a new job and they have a friend at work that's a female, and a lot of women are like, oh my God, who is this? I have, you know, I have seen that a lot of time from women with male, female friends, and I just think that that's just because, you know, because it's a different sex and usually the other person is single or something like that. So it's not that I don't understand it, but again, if you don't have trust in your partner,
Right.
or you feel like they're going to be doing other things, it's just never going to work regardless
Agreed.
of what they show you.
There's a foundation of what makes a successful relationship, and if you can't trust your partner, if you can't communicate to your partner that you can't trust them, and then listen and figure out ways to fix it, you know, at some point you get to the point where it's like, these connections are important to me, you know what I'm saying, but this is more important to me.
Right.
And if it's jeopardizing something, then you have to sit back and figure out what is it that, you know what I'm saying, you're willing to give up or give in. You know, Fig asked another great question. You on it today, Fig. I see you. He was like, can you cheat without having sex? And I think
Yeah.
all of these things that we're talking about, emotional, physical, mental, the idea that I want to be with someone else when I'm in a place where I should be wanting to be with my man, you know what I'm saying, where that all comes from, I think all of that is cheating.
Yeah, for sure, because your mind is a powerful thing. So
Yeah.
if you're constantly thinking about somebody else, but you're just physically with me, I don't want that.
Right.
That's not,
Right.
you know, you're like, well, I'm here. And a lot of people use that, men and women. Well, we didn't have sex.
Right.
So what? That doesn't mean anything. Sex is just your physical expression of your mental.
That exactly.
Basically,
Exactly.
you know, so to me, if this whole thing is, some women make themselves pregnant just because they believe it.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Literally,
Carry a
medically,
bit, right.
grow a belly.
Yes. I've
All
seen
from
that
their
happen.
mind.
Yes, I've
So,
seen that happen.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hey, this is the Shawn Harvey Morning Show. Senny and B Love. Who's this? Oh, wait, hold on. Hey, who is this?
This is Amir.
Oh, hey, Amir.
Hey, Amir.
Amir Sealy.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good.
Good morning, good morning,
How
good
are you,
morning.
sir?
I think that you guys are on to something as always with this great topic this morning.
Thank you.
I think I just chime in just a little bit.
Come on in.
on a couple of things that I heard. I know it's been a minute. I know you guys haven't heard from me in a while. Everything is wonderful. It's great to see you guys still doing your thing. I miss you guys. So it's just work has got me, back going hard. So y'all just forgive me for that.
No problem.
But to, some of the things, like I said, that I heard thus far, in and including cheating, in and including checking out, I think one of the caveats that a lot of people may or may not take into account when it comes to any and all of this is, as I've, said on previous shows at times, everything that we do is of energy. And because everything that you do is an energy, you attract that same energy. Now, here's where it gets tricky for so many of us. For some reason, we have been duped into believing on a bigger scale, not individually, but on a bigger scale, that your energy, as signature as it may be, only one other person is going to pick up that energy.
Right.
The reason why that's an obsolete and a weird train of thought to have is because it's like listening to the radio. The reason why radio stations work is because multiple people tune into that radio because that frequency resonates with them.
Right.
The same things happens with human beings. The problem is we are territorial because, again, of obsolete trains of thought that tell us Senny is only supposed to resonate with me. Forgetting that Senny is a whole energy. Beloved is a whole energy. So therefore, when that energy is going out into the universe, it's picking up on things that attract to that energy.
Right.
It's not, people say it's not cheating. You just have people who respond to you because they are on the same wave as you.
Right.
Now, the real issue is for most people is I can't get past that because you're not giving me back exactly what I've been trying to give you. I tell people this all the time, and I mean this. For the ladies out here listening on the line and for the fellas out here listening on the line. None of y'all wear the same bra and panties every day. You switch up. You change your hairdo. You change your purses. You change your shoes. You know why? Because you like change. You like variety.
Mm-hmm.
Every bit of our lives has that except for supposedly relationships where it's mano y mano.
Right.
Are we serious? Are we serious? Now, I want y'all to think about that. Now, that doesn't mean I think that you should go out and totally say to yourself, I have somebody in my life, but I'm going to go over here and start a situation. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have different changes because that's what life is about. Variety and learning from different situations because that's how we grow. We sit here and we give each other this, heartbreaking, oh my God, I can't believe you did this to me, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And the reality of it all is all these people are trying to do is figure certain things out. It doesn't make it, like I said, as crazy as it sounds, it's just people figuring things out. But like I said, the biggest thing and what I really wanted to get across this morning was the point that we are all just like radio stations. The only thing that's happening when other people are attracted to your significant other or to your friends or whatever is they just on the same wavelength.
Right.
Now, our job as human beings or as men and women is to shut down anything that we think may be inappropriate, as I heard you allude to earlier when you were talking about having a male friend who, may try to slide into home. You're like, hey, let's cut that out.
Right.
Same thing for you ladies. But that's really what it's about. It's not about, oh my God, he or she is she. We are radio stations that picking up on different frequencies, and sometimes those frequencies really resonate with us, and sometimes they don't.
Right.
Oh, I like that, Amir.
Right. Awesome. The jeweler is in the building. King Amir Silly. Thank you as always for coming in and dropping those jewels. And you're absolutely right, Amir. There is variety. I think what we're trying to, at least what I'm trying to put out there is, and we've talked about this on many levels, is, be honest about where you are and where you're coming in from. If you're somebody who wants variety, again, the polyamory thing, be upfront with that. And we don't want to have the conversations, because people can't handle them, as I've seen in a few of the comments. And we've also discussed numerous times, people can't handle it. But then it goes to who are you sitting across? And is this the person that you need to be sitting across if you're looking for something different?
Right.
You there, man?
Yes, I agree.
Awesome.
I love that, Amir.
I know.
Well,
yeah.
thanks, Amir, for calling in.
Thank you.
Of course. It's always great, like I said, to have an opportunity. I always thank y'all for allowing me to jump on the show and just share a review or two. To everybody, to all the people in the chat, again, it's great to see everybody. I hope everybody's doing absolutely phenomenally. It's Wednesday, y'all. Happy Hump Day. Everybody have a good one, and look forward to speaking to you guys again real soon.
Thanks,
Okay,
Amir.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate you.
He's so good. I love
Yeah,
Amir's
me too.
thing. We're all a radio freak. That's why I'm gonna use that. Are you tuned in to me right now?
I know, right? Are you listening?
Are you listening? And I think too that happens too a lot sometimes when we tell, I always sometimes like creepy, like I wonder what my partner's thinking about right now.
Is he right?
Is he thinking about me, or is he emotionally cheating in his mind?
Oh my goodness.
I know, but definitely we appreciate you all's comments and you
thank
thinking
you so much. I'm gonna send it to you right now, Fig. Fig's
yes,
gonna call
and
her.
on this topic, what is being a woman, what we all go through, how you navigate these relationships between men and women, finding the person that is in alignment with you. I think there's, it's just very interesting because I feel like now there's been a very huge shift in dating and how we all are interacting with each other,
Right.
which it could be good or bad. Like, I don't know how this is going to turn out because I do see a lot of younger women not having children right now. There has, I have two sisters. I'm the only one. My older brother, he has one child, but the rest of my siblings, none of them have children. I'm the only one that has two. And my kids, they're like 12 and going to be 15 now. So, they're getting older. My sisters, they're just like, whatever. They have no desire. They're like, do you see these men out here? Who are we going to have a family with? So I just feel like a lot of people are just being very discerning, which is a good thing because, we don't want to have all these broken families out here. We don't want, these men don't want child support. So, I mean, I think it's happening in a good way, but I kind of wonder what it'll look like in like 15 to 20 years where we're at with this.
Yeah, I mean, people are so turned off. Young women and men are so turned off by each other that they're like, they don't want to have kids, and they don't want to have, and it's so sad, where these men look at these men out here. So let me ask another question, Senny, which has been posed to me. Are we not picking the right men? Are we not looking at the men who are right in front of us? Because there are some good ones out here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But are we not looking at them because they're not in, the suit or they're not in a nice car? When we talk about vetting, right? I could tell you right now, I'll get with a plumber, electrician in a minute. They make cake, okay? And I'm not saying that it's about the money, but we look at them like, I don't want that guy with the white van. You know what I'm saying? Or with the blue jumpsuit, the mechanic, who, by the way, makes a few $100s an hour. I know. You know what I'm saying? Because I just paid for some work to my car. And I'm like, wow. And, so I had to get some work done before I was traveling, and I got put onto this mechanic out in Georgia. Mm-hmm. So I go to his house, which is a nice ranch house. It's pretty big. He has a nice big piece of land. In the back, he has like a garage with his tools and his mechanic tools and stuff. And I'm just like, he's got a nice little piece of land out here. He has a wife. You know what I'm saying? He's got a nice life. Is that not what we're looking for as women? Because that's the guy that usually gets bypassed.
I don't know. I've heard people say that, and they're like, oh, but it's the approach of this man or woman, you know what I'm saying? Because there are a lot of guys out there who are passing up women that are,
Very true.
My thing is there are how many women to one man, and y'all just seem to always get with the one that is going to put y'all on child support, has, crazy baby daddy, and is cursing you out all the time.
Well,
when you have all these women to choose from, and that's what you're getting. You know what I'm saying? So,
But do they though? Because here again, we're thinking we're all walking around all progressive and healed. And we know that there's a lot of us that still have some issues. He could get with the chick who'll be like moving, I got the money, I got the car, I got the house, but then she's got control.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like they have more options to choose from, but Absolutely. They all seem to be getting with the same type of woman.
Again, what's the same baggage that they're carrying and who's coming to pick it up? Because only those type of women will. My thing is, I know for sure and for certain, women will not date a man just because he's short. And they want to wear their heels, and because of that, some women don't date mechanics because they're greasy all day. You know what I'm saying? And they can never really get all the crud out of their fingers. It's like some women. It comes down to, again, your preference, but are those the important? And I guess it's the important things to them. But when we say, are we bypassing? Not all men are jacked up.
I don't think, I mean, at least for me, I don't think it's all about your approach. If you have a nice approach, I'm going to talk to you. If you're funny, if you're charming, if you're, interested in things that I'm interested, I will talk to you. I will give you a chance.
Right.
If these nice guys are coming, if you're corny, I'm not going to talk to you.
Right.
So I don't know.
What's corny? What's the definition of corny, though? I've dated all types of guys. Like, I've dated quiet guys who, you know what I'm saying? They're like, corny. Like, they'll bring the flower. I mean, I'm not saying that flowers are corny, but you know what I'm saying. Sometimes it's like a situation when you're not really feeling somebody. You're like, ugh, this corny. You know?
I don't know. It's your vibe. It's the vibe for me.
It's a corny vibe
it has
for me.
To, like, it's everything. Like your clothes, to your demeanor, to your, it's just
approach.
It's just everything about you.
Right.
And and if you're a guy, you're just always showering me with compliments and like, I'm not a person that, responds well to compliments because that's my baggage. But, a guy that's like constantly like, you're so beautiful and like, it's giving love bombing vibes. Hold on.
Right. Love bombing vibes. I love it. Be a love bomber.
Hey, this is Senny J and B Love. Who's this?
Good morning, Senny. This is Fig. Good morning, B
Hi,
Love.
Fig.
What's going on, bro?
Listen, you guys are on one today.
Yes. I had to come in and show out for Senny.
With the cheating and the emotional connection and baggage, I'm like,
it's a lot we love had to talk about today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
I
talking
don't know whether
for
I'm
all of
talking
us.
to the Shawn Harvey morning show or I'm listening to Ayanna Van Zant. I'm like, what's
Oh my goodness.
Yes, the ladies take over today. It's a different type of show today.
Yes, it is. Sean would have kept it ratchet.
Because women have a different type of energy.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good. Listen, this is all great, but the thing that a couple of questions that I was thinking of is
Come on in,
generally speaking, women are more emotional or more in tune emotional than men are. And the question I was trying to get out is that if you have a woman,
Mm-hmm.
if you have an emotional connection with a man
Mm-hmm.
that is not your significant other,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is that not a form of cheating? Because it's emotional. It may not be physical,
Right.
but isn't that an emotional type of cheating? Because if you're connected with a man on another level, even if it's not physical,
Right.
are you not taking something away from your significant other? And if the person that you're in a relationship with voices his displeasure in your emotional connection,
Mm-hmm.
isn't that like him being upset with you, sort of cheating on him in a way?
To me, it depends on yes, for sure. If my partner feels threatened by an outside relationship that I have with the opposite sex, for sure, I want to hear your concerns.
Yeah.
But if your concerns are rooted in insecurity, then that's a problem.
I lose a point. Yeah, I
But
kind of
is it insecurity or is the concern actually valid? He's not worried. If I'm not worried about you having physical sex, if I'm just talking about the emotional connection,
So let's dig down
can I
in
be
what's
jealous of the emotional connection that you have with another individual that I want with you as your significant other?
Well, if they're not giving you, like, if she's kikiing till 1 in the morning with her friend because she feels like she can't talk to you, then yeah, that's something that you guys need to work on. But if you're just upset because she's laughing with another man, I mean, it'd have to be.
What does it stem from? Is what Senny's saying. Is it coming from the fact that you can't handle the fact that I just can have conversation with my male friend and it's not sexual? We could be talking about a TV show or a movie or something that he wanted to share that might even benefit us, or or is it the fact that
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm going to talk about one conversation. I mean, we could minimize it, because you know what that's like. That's like if we flip it to the other side. That's like a man saying, "Well, I have no emotional connection with this woman. I just had sex with her. It was one time. You know what I mean? I just went to have sex, but I'm really connected to you."
Right.
I mean, because men are like disconnected somewhat emotionally. Like, we can have disconnected sex emotionally. It could be a pure physical thing for men and have no connection whatsoever emotionally.
Right.
So if I just say, well, I have no connection with this woman. It was just sex. I just had sex with her. I don't want anything to do with her.
Right.
Isn't that the same thing on the other side? You said, well, I don't have sex with this guy. It's just an emotional connection.
I agree with you. I don't think to the big or the small of it, of how big or small the connection is, if it's a concern for the partner, then it's something that needs to be heard out. I think what Senny's saying is that what exactly is it an insecurity thing? Because men can be insecure. And it could be rooted in that. Some men will be like, I don't care that he's, they'll even say, oh, that's John, like they'll even know who the friend is, and they'll have their own kind of bond to them or connection to them if I have a relationship with this person, possibly. But I agree. If there's something for me, can we get to the point where, those things are not so prevalent? Now, I have male connection. I have male friends whom I speak to every day. And I know the things that we're talking about aren't anything that hopefully his partner would feel some way about. But if he came to me and was like, listen, I can't really talk to you as much or often anymore because my fiance, my girlfriend, whoever feels uncomfortable with that, I got to fall back from that. That's still my people's. It doesn't change anything. But if they feel like there's a violation, then yeah, absolutely. It should be something that we should be protecting each other in all of this.
Here's the real question. Because at the end of the day, you only could attract into your circle, into your life, like Amir was saying, people that are on your wavelength.
Right.
I truly believe it's impossible for somebody to come into your circle if you don't have some kind of connection with them on some level or some kind of vibe anyway. So my question is, for Senny specifically, you got this best friend that's a guy. But this is the person that you never had sex with. I'm only going according to what you said.
Right.
And my question is, if you're so emotionally connected to this guy and he has an emotional connection to you, why aren't y'all in a relationship? Because at the end of the day, that's really what makes a relationship work.
Right.
When you have more in common than a physical attraction. That's where the connection comes from. It's an emotional connection that you have with an individual. It's a friendship and a bond that you have with an individual that makes loyalties stay intact. Like, people treat their significant other way worse than they would treat what you ladies phrase as my bestie.
Right.
You would do your man a certain way, but you would never do that to your bestie.
Right.
So my question is, if your bestie is a man, why isn't that your significant other? Because you're going to treat them better than any relationship. You actually picked your bestie over the guy that you was in a potential relationship with. So why isn't that your man?
Well, to answer that, well, first of all, I listen, all the people that are close to me, even in a relationship, I want to treat you the best. I would
Right.
never do anything to intentionally disrespect my partner or do anything to hurt them. To me, my partner is also my best friend too. Like, you're my best friend that I sleep with. You know what I'm saying? So
You only can have. Look,
I think that comes from
That
a lack of
means-
trust.
no,
Yeah,
Better than
I
everything
believe
else.
I
believe
people
it's a
can
lack of
have
trust.
multiple best friends, but I think that I mean, to speak to me and Marlon's situation, the reason why we're not together is because it's just he's not in a point where he wants to be in a relationship. We've definitely talked about it.
Okay.
But he's not, for him, he has things that he wants to accomplish. He's not trying to be tied down right now. And I respect that. I can look at myself and be like, okay, it's not going to happen like that. And,
Right.
he still wants to hang out with me. He still wants to be a friend. He's not trying to sleep with me. And whatever. As a man, he wants to get himself together. And then so we've just gone on from that. It's just not going to be something.
So he
my
made it
question
clear.
to you is,
Mm-hmm.
because people, men and women, both pick up on vibes
Mm-hmm.
and energy, like Amir said.
Right.
Could this not be the energy that your man was feeling?
What?
That you said you guys actually had a conversation and explored the possibility of being in a relationship. Could not your man have picked up on that energy and said, I don't like this?
No.
Because at the end of the day, if your best friend so decides or chooses that now is the time, guess what? The man is out the door. And
No, not
maybe that energy is the energy that he felt threatened by.
No.
Not
Well,
that you guys acted on anything, not that you did anything, but just the emotional connection
Yeah,
that
but
you had with that individual.
but
Let me
again,
ask
that's
you a question.
insecurity.
Right. Let me ask
Because
a
you
question.
feel like should so and so change his mind, then I'm gonna be out the door.
Right.
You're not secure in the fact that what I'm telling you is real. Yes, that happened, but that was long ago.
Right.
I'm not in that same place. Now, who's to say if he were to come to me, I would want to be with him?
Right.
You know
Is
what
that
I'm saying?
true? Is that really true?
But
Well,
see,
I
you're
mean,
not believing what I'm saying.
But let me
No,
ask
no,
Fig
no,
this.
no.
Fig,
I'm
let me ask you a
believing
question.
But
Let me.
I'm only questioning.
But I gave you an
And listen
answer,
what
and
I'm-
you're
listen
not
to what I'm-
wanting.
Okay, listen to my next question.
But did I not give you the
baby.
answer?
No, you did. You gave me a great answer. But let me ask you this: don't babies feel it? Don't
what?
babies feel jealousy? Like if your mom, like if you have your mother and your mother, because babies do this all the time. You have a husband and a wife that have a child.
Babies have a
And
preference.
then the husband, say it's a daughter, the husband is kissing the wife. The baby will push the mother out of the way. Like, get away from my daddy. Like, he's mine. Is it insecurity or is it human nature or a genuine human emotion that we're born with?
We may be born
Jealousy,
with it, but
is it something
insecurity
that
is
you have to
cultivated.
learn?
Insecurity is cultivated, though. Insecurity
Right,
is
but
insecurity
I'm just
is
saying,
learned.
as a
So
baby,
as a
babies have
baby,
that.
but a
You
baby
can't
has
say a baby is insecure.
a baby has not gone through life
Yes.
and been impacted in a way that now has changed who they are as an adult. And that's what we're talking about. Like when we're talking about all of these topics, right? That's what we're talking about. How are you looking at it? Where are you in your place on how you're approaching this? Because to your point, yeah, a baby gets jealous, but a baby hasn't gone through the insecurity phases that people do. So at this point, when you're approaching me with this conversation, for me, just be clear. If I get to a point where I have a partner, because I have friends, that are just friends, I know that I can call Fig, Amir, Shawn Harvey. There's no emotional connection between us in that way. You know what I'm saying? It's respectful and it's understood. So not everybody's going to be connected in that way. If you do, and when it happens and we have this conversation, then we have to figure out what it is that this is stemming from. Am I talking to Fig too much every day? Are the topics that we're talking about uncomfortable? That, where you're like, why are you talking to him about that? Those are the things
Right.
that you can sit down
But
and say,
those-
okay, those I
are
could fix.
Those are the emotional connections
Mhm.
that make relationships work.
Right.
Because sex, I mean, think
There's
about
other
it.
stuff too, though.
Even young people, in
Mm-hmm.
their 20s, they're not having sex every day, all day. So really, at the end of the day, the emotional connection is really what it's all about.
Right.
And that expression of the emotional connection, when it turns to physical, becomes sexual energy and tension. But at the end of the day, sex is not what makes a relationship work.
No, but not.
It's the emotional connection. So why aren't people validated by being jealous, or what you would call insecure about an emotional connection that their significant other has with another individual?
Because they have to, because they have to check that. Because
Why?
Because
it's
It,
natural.
it depends on what it is.
Yes, it is.
Depends on what it is.
But it is natural. But again, at the end of the day, people, like Amir Sealy said, are gonna be tuned into whatever frequency you're on.
Right.
So you cannot expect me as a partner. Just because you get with somebody doesn't mean that they're not attracted to other people.
Right.
You cannot control that.
Right.
Only thing
absolutely.
you can control is what is happening to you right in front of now and how that person is treating you. If your girl is treating you with love, respect, kindness, support, and sex and everything that you need, and she is out, and if she's a fully rounded individual, she's gonna be able to make connections with other people, and then you just have to stand fast in the fact that, you know what, that's my girl. And if you hear her laughing on the phone with Gregory, that it's just that she's having a good time with her friend.
Right.
Well,
That
okay,
doesn't
let me
mean that she's taking anything away from you guys, because you guys still laugh and do everything that you guys do as a couple as well.
Right.
Okay, so now on the same token, now you're talking emotional.
We
See,
need jokes.
an emotional connection doesn't have to be acted on in the form of conversation or in the form of a physical act.
So what?
Women get jealous over a physical act that their significant other has with another woman, even though there's emotional connection. He's still having sex with you. So why would you be jealous over that?
I don't get your question. So
okay, the act
of like having sex.
Could be the phone call, could be going out to dinner, could be going out for drinks, maybe to the movies. Talking about a movie on the phone, laughing, that's the emotional connection is acted on by your interaction with the other individual. Even though it may not be physical, it's still an interaction.
But don't you want your significant other to have interactions outside of you?
Yeah, but
Absolutely,
not
it
with
doesn't
other
have
men.
to be with the opposite sex in the
But
connection.
what's the problem? I still don't see the problem with that. So she should
But
just
what's the problem?
only be
Okay,
with the
then
one sex.
What's the problem with with them having sex with another individual?
I mean, there shouldn't be. It all comes down to your level of security and what that person has done. Would I date a guy who's had sex with a woman who he says no, that's over? I mean,
But they're not telling all the time.
but I don't know.
They're not even telling. So
the
here,
thing
I was
is
going to
that
ask
because men are more. The thing is that men. Because to your fact, because you said men can have sex and not, it's just a physical act.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm going to be like, okay, so does he think it's okay to continue to do that because he doesn't have an emotional connection with her, but he's going to still have sex with her?
No, at the end of the day,
Because
the
it doesn't
question
mean
is,
anything to him, and what she doesn't know won't hurt her. And that's how
It's
people
really-
rationalize doing that kind of stuff.
right.
No, but it's really about your connection to the other individual that prevents you from doing stuff outside of that particular relationship, whether it be physical or emotional. And say, you know what? This is not acceptable to the person that I'm in a relationship with. So for that cause only, I won't do it because I don't want to affect this relationship. This
Right.
relationship is the one that's paramount. So I'm not going to go outside of this relationship to cause any friction or anything that makes my partner uncomfortable. Even if It's an emotional connection with another individual. I'm telling you, the emotional connection is far beyond that of the physical, because the physical is short-lived. The physical doesn't get carried on into the next day, the next month, the next year. It doesn't get carried on. But that emotional connection is deeper than a physical connection. And we, as human beings, a lot of times we get focused on the physical act as opposed to the emotional act. If a woman could just have, like, the thing is that makes a guy jealous the most about his woman stepping out of the relationship is that he knows that her connection with that individual was emotional first. She didn't just give her body, she gave her heart. And she gave her emotions to this individual long before they had the physical act. There's some kind of connection that you had. And that is what that's where the jealousy comes from. I'm thinking, again, I'm talking about male and female thought process and dynamics, because that's what a man feels threatened by. It's not really always the physical act. It's the emotional connection. Women do it too. That's why prostitution. Women go out and they have sex with guys that they don't care nothing about. It's absolutely no connection at all. And if you had to be physically connected to every guy that you had sex with, or emotionally connected, there would be no such thing as prostitution. That would be an impossibility. Because that means she would be in love with every John that she ever encountered. You have to be able to disconnect yourself. So what people are really jealous of is the emotional connection, because it can't be just physical. Because the physicality is just for a moment and then it's over. So what people really feel is that my partner left me emotionally, and that's what hurts me the most, because I have an emotional connection to you. It's never about physical. And that's the point that I'm trying to get across, is that cheating is more about an emotional connection with another individual than it is about a physical act. Because men and women generally commit physical acts all the time that mean absolutely nothing.
So, Faye, let me ask you a question. I've been trying to ask for like a minute now, right? When you meet somebody, or, in the past, when you've met somebody on a scale of 1 to 10, and they had male friends, because usually when you're meeting somebody, you usually know about the friends pretty soon within, you start hearing the name, or they may be up front, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's the likelihood that they smashed? That they had sex?
I don't know. I don't know.
But in your mind, would you believe that they did?
I don't want to know. Those are questions. Listen, I only ask the questions that I want answers to. So if I don't want to hear the answer, or the answer is going to affect me in a way that is going to be adverse, then I don't ask the question. Like, I would never ask a woman how many men you slept with. I don't care. I don't want to know.
That's not my question.
I don't need that type of pressure on my emotion.
That's not my question.
I never ask, well, how good was I? Or how big was, like, I don't do things to affect my ego negatively. So I don't ask the questions that I don't want the answers to.
Right. That's not what
never ask.
That's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking you is, when you meet someone and they have friends, on a scale of 1 to 10 in your head, you don't ask, but what do you, nine times out of 10 is the assumption is that this male friend, they've been intimate.
No.
Is there a possibility that this woman has this male friend? Because I'm going to tell you now, 9 times out of 10, if there's a woman in a man's life, they've smashed or thought about it somewhere close to. So there, to your point right there, there's that physical connection.
You can have thoughts about it, but whether you would actually do it or not is really, like, because we meet and encounter people all the time that we never have a physical connection with. Mm-hmm. And again, going back to it is, if you can get by the physical, if you can get by the emotional connection, physicality means nothing. Like, I don't care about the physical act that a woman has with a man. That doesn't mean anything to me. It's the emotional connection that precedes the physical act is what people become jealous of. It's never just the physical act. It's the emotional connection. Because
you said there was an emotional. You said there was an emotional connection.
Do you love her? Do you care about her? Do you want to be in a relationship with her? Do you care about her more than me? None of that has anything to do with the physical act.
So, Fig, if you were to be under what circumstances can your significant other have a relationship with a man?
Yeah.
My question is, and here's the thing.
Can they have can somebody that you're with have male friends?
Absolutely, they have male friends, but here's the thing.
Okay, so what do they have to?
I don't know if you know this, that when a woman gets in a relationship, like you just say, it's a group of women together. One of those women gets in a relationship, her interaction with the group becomes less and less because she starts to spend more time with the individual that she's in a relationship with. Like, girl, we ain't seen you in a month.
Right.
She said, girl, I know, I'm sorry.
I've been booed
this
up.
Relationship, blah, 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 this and the third, because you become emotionally connected. You're not having sex with this dude every day. It's the emotional connection, and that's where the jealousy comes in. My question is, with my significant other, if you start palling with this other individual and it just so happens to be a male friend, I want to know, what's the connection? Why? Like, because that's where it all begins. Why are you starting to have this relationship with this guy as opposed to having that relationship with me? Like, what is it about this individual that makes you want to start spending more time and being with this particular friend? Or if you knew him before me and now we're in a relationship, why hasn't that time that you've given to this individual, why hasn't it tapered off and you started to direct the attention that you was giving to him to me? Because it's not
not
about physical, but it's about the emotional connection.
But if I'm giving this, I don't even want to say same amount of time. If I see this person 2-3 times a month, like actually physically go out with them, and maybe text, talk on the phone with them a couple of times a week, I don't think, and I'm encouraging, because a lot of times women will be like, oh, come out with me and Gregory. And they're like, nah, I'm not going out with y'all.
Right.
Like, why? I want you to be friends with who I'm friends with, especially if it's a guy. I would love it if, let's say Marlon and the guy that I'm with, like, if they were like best friends, that would be awesome. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like a lot of men are like, nah, I'm not palling around with your buddy.
Right, like that's your friend. Because it is your friend, though. It is your friend, though.
Emotional connection is what makes you jealous.
Right.
Yeah, but
that's where it comes to, because I want to be friends with a guy that you have a close relationship. Do you know that women? Listen. Let me just say, I'm a little bit more involved than the average person.
Right.
I know that women will bring a guy that they've been sleeping with and their new boyfriend into the same circle, introduce them, have these guys palling around being buddy-buddy, and neither one of them would know that they having sex with this woman and she ain't going to tell nothing.
Right, because it's an agreement. And that's what I'm saying. When you're in a real relationship where you really start having feelings for somebody, Faye, you start to cut some of those connections off. I'm booed up today, honey. So we not chit-chatting today. I'll get with you tomorrow when I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm trying to say to Senny about this guy that she was dating.
right.
The guy that she was dating was feeling a type of way because your connection with your friend was on an emotional level. Well, maybe it wasn't physical, emotional level, but it was taking emotional time and emotional feelings away from him, and probably, I'm just guessing, it probably prevented from a deeper connection with him that he may have wanted with you.
No, with this individual, that was none of the case. He just wanted control of everything and everywhere I was going, who I was talking to. But I'm not saying that what you're saying doesn't have validity, but I'm just saying that it all comes down to the person, because I see healthy relationships, marriages, where, the wives are best friends with the husband's girlfriend, the husband's girlfriend that he had, or guys that became better friends.
That's people are still around.
This is,
because they're friends. Because that's their friend.
Right. Well,
let me tell you, you know what? No. I haven't even so much as bumped into anybody that I've had a relationship with in the past.
But that's a relationship. I'm talking about friendships. friendships, not somebody you've smashed in the past, but like a legit friend, like from high school, from college, a coworker that you got mad cool with. I'm talking about that.
Until the relationship connection becomes extremely deep and on another level, there's really no room for outside relationships on that emotional level to the point where it becomes threatening to the connection that you have with your significant other. Those things have to be broken off and allow the connection with your significant other to be cultivated to a point where it can stand. You have to build your family. You don't just build a house on sand.
So you
Give me
think
the other side of the coin on that.
You can't bring other people into your circle or into your intimate circle until you build that foundation with your significant other, whether it be male or female. You don't have room. That's why you break off with the outside people initially until you build it, and then you can go back out and make a reconnection as a couple, as one, instead of as, two splintered individuals.
so we need to get our bestie game up before. So I need to cut off my friend. Me and you need to get our bestie game up together, and then we'll feel fortified enough so that I can start calling my friend again to be like, oh hey, let's go out somewhere.
Now my friend is looking at me sideways, like every time you meet somebody, you kicking me to the curb.
When you in love, you do that organically. It won't be a conscious. It won't be a conscious effort. It'll just happen automatically.
There should be a respect in the relationship.
me,
I shouldn't have to give up my friends and my relationships because you are not prepared for me to do that.
What did she say? What did she say? I didn't hear you.
I said I don't know that I would feel comfortable having to give up my personal relationships because me and you are you don't know how long this is gonna last. And these people who have been in my life. No, it's not. Well, at the end of the day,
but I'm just saying, not giving it a chance because you don't know how long it's gonna last.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm not cutting my relationships off because me and you just met and everything's feeling all warm and fuzzy. And then once we get to the point,
I'm not talking about just meeting. I'm talking about when you guys start to develop a relationship and you see your relationship going to the next level. That's when you first meet somebody and you're just getting together. No, you're not going to do that right away. But if this relationship starts to take on a new energy and you see something really significant there and you're into this guy and the guy is into the woman, you start to break off outside relationships.
Absolutely.
Unless they're like family connections.
Right.
You start to, it organically happens. This is nothing that you make a conscious effort about. But I'm just saying, if you don't, then maybe the relationship that you just
how long are you with this guy with Marvin?
To give it all your energy, then
when you get to that point. When you get to that point, I think, and to your point, I think when you get to that point.
It's not overnight.
But I'm just saying, I'm not meeting you tomorrow and I'm cutting off everybody.
If a guy is telling you that he wants to be with you and that he wants to spend more time with you and he's trying to build an emotional bond beyond the physical bond to where this thing could be long lasting, and you cut him off and say, you know what? I'm really into my friend over here. Then basically what you're telling him is that I'm really not that into you.
Right.
This is just really sex for us. And it probably ain't going to go no further.
Right.
I don't
duly know.
I mean, I don't know. I get what you're saying.
How men feel.
Yes.
Because if you're not willing to spend more time with me, to give me a chance to have a marriage or a long relationship with you or intimate, committed relationship with you, and you spending time with some other guy, then what you're really telling me is that I'm not that important.
Do I have to spend all my time with you, though?
I'm telling you from a male perspective.
Do I have to spend all my time with you, though, for you to, like, I'm just saying, do I have to give up everything? Because I don't want to look at you all the time.
Your girlfriends and stuff like that. But if you're spending time with this guy that is supposed to be your best friend, more than you spend, like, on an equal level.
No, nobody's saying
time. If this guy is taking time away from me that I want with you, and I express that to you, and you brush it off, then you telling me that I'm not that important.
We got you, Fig. Fig, I got you, Fig. He's like, I'm busting down the door with my feelings, and I don't want you sharing it with anybody else. We got you, Fig.
I mean, I can appreciate that. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with it, which is why. And then you see, we only lasted 3 months, and my friend was like, "Dang, that's crazy."
Maybe,
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
maybe it was because he was more into you than you was into him.
No, you know what he was? He was into control.
That's
okay, and that's what
What
he
is
wanted.
Listen, control is an illusion. There's no such thing.
Yeah,
We
but
can't even control ourselves half the damn time.
yeah,
let
but
alone
that's what
somebody
he
else.
wanted. He wanted me to talk to with people that he felt like I should talk to, which was only females. And he wanted me to, do certain things that he wanted me to do. I mean, yes, of course it is an illusion. It's an illusion in his mind. And, I just feel like the person that's for me, they're going to align with how I feel. Me and you are out of
don't tell me
alignment,
what to do,
Fig.
first of all.
You are the type of man that, very alpha energy, and you feel like you don't want another man infringing on what could be your time with your woman. That is absolutely understandable. For me,
especially in the beginning.
especially to me though, the beginning is when it's the most
Fake.
flimsy.
Exactly. It's the
why
fakest.
am I making all of these important decisions in the beginning?
Right.
I'm only listen. Let me say what I say. What about the beginning? Only when you guys decide that this could really be something, and let's explore the next level of this relationship.
Right.
Let's try and see if we really have something here. I'm not talking about when you first meet and you just dating.
No, but what
and all this stuff. That's not what I'm talking about.
But even still, that's still the beginning. You're already framing your opinion in the little interactions that we do have when I'm talking, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was talking with my friend Marlon today, and we went, and did this and did that. Already in your mind is like, well, if she want this to go any farther, like that whole Marlon thing is gonna have to end. You're already thinking that in your mind when I'm initially telling you about letting you into my life and seeing how I move. You're already making a decision.
Funny? You maybe Marlon is a bad example for you to use because you said you and Marlon explored the possibility of having a physical relationship.
No.
So maybe that's a bad example to use because just the fact that one of the two of you was actually thinking about it is a threat.
It's just a conversation. Of course, people, because when we go out, people assume that we're together and all this other stuff. And so it's just a natural conversation. When you say, well, what if we dated? Like, what does that look like for you? How do you feel about that? Or why are you single? Why haven't you found anybody?
That's it. If I'm out with a
I got a news flash.
If a man is out with a woman, he's serious about that woman. You don't want no guy around that you thought about smashing.
I mean, you have to assume that, but you have to assume, especially if you grow out, if you have an attractive person around you, that somebody's gonna want to smash or thought about smashing them regardless.
I have a news
I'm
flash.
talking about the woman that you with thought of, considered having sex with the
If
guy
you
that
think
she
that
considers
if you
her
think
friend.
that your woman has never considered smashing another guy that she's close with or anything, then you're
Before
just living in a la la land.
Right. That has happened.
You're living in.
Oh, wait. Somebody that she's having a consistent conversation with or going out for drinks.
If it's an attractive person
No, I'm not having it. No, that's not having it.
Well, then you're being
That's
unreal.
not
You're
it.
being unrealistic. You're being
I felt for my
unrealistic.
therapist. She would tell.
Unrealistic. So my wife or my potential wife is spending time with another guy that she thought about having sex with. Like she's literally spending time with this guy, having phone conversations, going out with him for drinks, maybe to a movie or out at a club or something. Like she's literally spending time with that since we've been with this individual. And then I'm talking about moving on with her as in an intimate platonic relationship, just us, and she's spending time with this guy. And you think that's going further? How?
It depends. There's levels to everything. There's definitely how many times she's hanging out with this guy, what she's talking about. I mean, I think that nothing should be to the level of inappropriateness, but you never know. You can read minds. How do you know what that person is thinking about? You could get married to a woman and she could be thinking about sleeping with one of your friends. Like, I'm just saying, you don't know what goes on in somebody's mind. All you
was talking.
Can we talk
I
about
thought we was
Natalie
talking about
Wright
energy
though?
here,
Can we talk about
energy
Natalie
that-
Wright?
that
Can
we
we?
pick
Hi,
up on.
Natalie.
What did Natalie say?
So I'm in a relationship with a guy who called me his close friend. It's going on 5 years. I tell my friends he told me he had a girlfriend after we've been enjoying each other for over 3 years. Each other for 3 years. My friends believe he made up a girlfriend because he does so much for me. It's what it is, friends until the end. So am I reading this to say that you've been dealing with this guy for 5 years, and he just tells everybody that you're just friends? And he even made up a girlfriend. I need clarification. What is going on, lady? Because I'm just like, little girl
I'll
lost.
say
I need
this.
you to show up at 6
I feel
o'clock
like
tonight.
I've been here a minute, and I don't want to take up. I feel like I've taken up too much of you guys' time, but I'll say this: women determine the. How do I say this? I'm trying to put this together. Women determine how a relationship is going to go by your boundaries. You
Right.
say, look, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. If we're going to be in a relationship or if we're going to be together on any level, this is what it is that I need and this is what I want. And if you can't give it to me, then I'm out. You get about 5 years. Some women won't even let you get away with that with 5 months. And let me tell you this.
How about 5
minutes?
minutes?
And if I'm not comfortable, women, if you're not comfortable with the level of your commitment from this guy, then say, look, we're not going to have sex or we're not going to have anything until I'm comfortable with the level of this relationship, because I'm a wife. I'm looking for a husband, and I'm not interested in casual sex.
Right.
Or I just want to have sex with you, or whatever it is going to be, unless the man is a rapist. Women determine when, how, where, or if it's going to happen. You guys determine what the relationship is going to be.
Yep.
The ball is in your court.
Yep.
You
Agreed.
decide, hey, baby, can I kiss you? No, you can't kiss me. Can I have sex? No, we not having sex. Can we go out? No, we not going out. The guy is always, look, I'm old school. The guy is always pursuing, and the woman is always saying yes or no. You're making the decisions. I'm making the request. You're giving me the answers as to what this relationship is going to be. You define what a relationship is going to be. The ball is in your court because you have a man wants. He wants you or what you have to give. So you have to decide what he needs to do to get it. It's almost just like, I want that Mercedes Benz. I go into the dealership. I say, how can I get that? I got to have that car. What do I need to do? Well, you need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this. You need to put down a down payment. You know what I mean? You need to pay it in cash. I need to see your credit. I need to.
It's a
check
mindset.
You're
talking about
your
a mindset,
reliability.
Fig.
That's how it is with a woman. Say, look, I want to be with you. I want to be in your life. You set the parameters and the guidelines of what this relationship is going to be like.
We set the parameters, but you have to understand that everybody does not have that old school mentality. And so, while to your point, we're in control of who we let in and what goes down and all. You're right. But that's a mindset. You have to get to the point where you understand, where you just like, I don't have to deal with this. But there are a lot of people out here today who are picking up their old stuff, taking it with them to the new stuff, and they're just adding on to it and not even taking the time to understand that level of respect for themselves.
But I get...
All you really have to do is control you. As
Right.
women, all you have to do is control yourself. Control yourself and what you're willing to accept,
right,
and what you're willing to stand for. You set the boundaries and the guidelines and the standards for every relationship that you, whether it just be a casual friend or whether it be a relationship. And you just say, look, I'm not going for that. And I don't care what kind of, whether he old school, new school, this school, that school,
whack school.
You still have to stand on your own ground and say, this is what I want for me. And if you can't bring that to the table, then you just need to keep it pushing.
That's right.
Yes,
let them know
we appreciate you and speaking from the male perspective. So I appreciate you. Thanks, you so much for calling in.
Love you, Senny and B Love.
I
Yes.
love you too.
Talk to you later.
Yes,
All right,
listen. Fig just broke it down. Stop accepting this this associate's degree from the University of Whack.
Yes.
Please
and-
start looking for those MBAs with the you know what I'm saying, who have put the work, and even if they got the BAs, but they working on the M's in terms of their maturity, in terms of who they are as men, how they're approaching us. Because guess what? It's both sides.
Yes, it definitely is. And, go with people that align with you. Hopefully my next person that I'm involved with will understand my friends and my boundaries and everything that comes along with that, because I'm a whole package. I have been with relationships where I did cut off friends. I stopped talking to people, and I didn't like that. So now I want, and even with this person, I tried it halfway with him and it didn't work out. So I will be with somebody, and I'm like that too. I give grace, and I'm going to give you rope to hang yourself. If you say that is your friend and you do this and da-da-da-da, and I come to find out down the line that it's something that it's not, I know what to do.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I want everybody that I'm in a relationship with or that is in a relationship with me to understand. Dave Chappelle said it's the best. We're all having human experiences. We're all going through things. However, I think that we all know boundaries. We all know what our significant other would not want us to do. And if you don't, maybe you should have conversations about that so that everybody's on the same page. But it's all about moving in alignment with you. If you are with somebody that is vehemently telling you that this is something that they don't like, or something that happened in their past relationship, or this is how they are, that is what it means, taking somebody for where they're at and respecting that that's the way that they feel, and you can't change their mind because they've had experiences that have showed them otherwise, and you just have to go on with that. It doesn't matter if you guys have such a great vibe, you have such great sex. No, that was just that person for that time. You learned what you could from them, and that was it. It doesn't mean that you guys have to be together or continue this any further.
Correct.
Because I think that's where a lot of resentments come in. I think that's where baggage comes in, and all that other extra stuff. So
be strong. As you can see by Senny shirt, be strong.
Be strong. Be strong in yourself. Be strong in your, and how you feel.
Yes.
You have to do that. And we are so over time. It's like not even funny. We didn't even do any news. We didn't do anything.
We talked about everything. We talked about Neo. We talked about Alicia Keys. We talked about a lot of stuff.
Yes.
What a great talk. Thank you so much for having me in studio. This was such a pleasure. I'm so grateful.
It's great. And definitely let everybody know where, if you definitely want to keep this conversation going or follow Be Love. Tell us about our great shirts, and then we're going to let you guys go.
Okay. So really quickly, if everyone, I know some of you actually join now. I want to first of all say thanks to Shawn, to Senny, Barbi, to Miko. I love you guys so much. Thank you for allowing me to come in and just share my thoughts and my feelings. I have a show that I do every Wednesday called LGL Real Talk on Instagram. If you don't follow me, please go there and follow me now at LGL Real Talk. We talk about real things that created people who don't understand how to unpack their bags, they don't know how to be accountable. I say not knowing your worth and your value. And we have these conversations just like this so that we can start thinking different and changing the dynamic in how we're approaching things. I also have a show on Instagram with Kamal Speaks at 11 o'clock where we talk about current hot topics. Please make sure you check that out from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is our third day. It's been really, really awesome. And I'm just loving the vibe there. It's really open like this. And then last but not least, on Labor Day weekend, I will be launching Be Loves Tees. And basically they allow you to say, what you want to be or who you are without saying a word. Mine says be real. Senny has be strong because she is, and I want her to, I love and respect her strength so much and her evolution, just watching the show and even talking to her from the last time I was here. So it'll be on www.lglrealtalk.com, but I can't wait to see you guys out today. Thanks again for letting me be here. Thanks, Senny.
Oh, no problem. We always love when B Love calls in, when she can actually come in. I'm so surprised to actually see her in studio. So it's always a great time. Yeah. Definitely, you guys, make sure you check us out tomorrow. I probably won't be here, but Shawn will be here. Miss Miko will be here with her tips. And we just hope you all have a great day.
Yes,
and
have a great one.
We are going to get out of here. Go out there, y'all. Be great. Set your boundaries. Don't let anybody take you off your square.
Yes.
And have a great day.
Great day.
We will see you guys later. Bye. See you later.
DJ Younganut. If he ain't playing, I ain't staying.
It's Shawn Harvey featuring Senny J along with our co-host Barbi Cologne on Comedy World Net Radio.
Hey guys, it's Barbi Cologne from the Shawn Harvey Morning Show featuring the Wake Up Team on Comedy World Net Radio.
This is Senny J from the Shawn Harvey Morning Show featuring the Wake Up Team. Catch us on Comedy World Net Radio.
Who is it? It's Young and Nut, and I'm doing them.